The Heat have been in the headlines this year, but mostly for the wrong things, bro. The Heat are a fluke. The Heat won't make the finals. The Heat won't make the playoffs. I mean, although I don't agree, they do need to improve. But first, let's give some context, bro, because it's really important in this case, bro. Alright, so the Heat rough start, bro, isn't completely their fault, bro. They started off the season with their best player missing many games. This was Jimmy Butler, who missed 12 games at the beginning of the season, and they were 3-9 without him. And it would make sense. He's the best player on the team. He's the one that got you to the finals, a team that was very underrated to the finals. He kind of did a carry job, maybe not as much as in scoring and shooting, but as much as in leading the team as being a vocal leader. He really carried that team a lot. And with Jimmy Butler, they're 8-6, which is a 57 win percentage, which right now would be tied for the 3rd seed in the East with the Brooklyn Nets. So if Jimmy Butler was healthy this whole time, they would have no problems. They've also missed Avery Bradley for 15 games, some much needed perimeter defense they need right now. And Dragic has missed 8 games, and we know why that Heat team was so good last year. It's because Dragic was so amazing off the bench. But let's get into it, bro. So this past offseason, the Heat lost Jay Crowder, the chances at Giannis in free agency. And this is mostly because they paid Bam the extension, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. Bam has such a crazy ceiling. They lost that max slot for free agency. They lost Solomon Hill, who didn't really give him any minutes, so it's not a big deal. But they did lose Derrick Jones Jr., who, yeah, he wasn't a floor spacer. He wasn't really an offensive player at all, but he was a good defender for the team. All right, now the first trade. Kyle Lowry. Maybe the Raps are good enough to where they don't trade him. I don't know. If I was the Raps, I would trade him. He's getting on an expiring contract. Yeah, he's a Raps lifer. You'll retire his jersey, but I mean, right now it's like they're in a weird state. No cap. But Toronto, they get Kelly Olynyk, Avery Bradley, Precious Achiuwa, Kendrick Nunn, and a 2021 top 3 protected pick. And Miami gets Kyle Lowry. Now this move makes Miami top 3 favorites in the East with Lowry, and not only are they adding a great facilitator, good scorer, and a great backcourt defender, but they're adding another great leader alongside Jimmy Butler, and Iguodala is a pretty good leader too. All right, now for the second trade. This one is to get Bradley Beal out of Washington. Washington gets Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Precious Achiuwa, the 2022 and 2024 first round pick, and Miami gets Bradley Beal. And this makes the Heat a whole lot better. We know the Heat missed out on James Harden, which would have brought a crazy high championship ceiling. But they get Beal, a worse player but maybe the better fit. And this makes Heat top 2 favorites in the East. And then the last and final trade, the Heat get LaMarcus Aldridge, and they send Kelly Olynyk, Precious Achiuwa, and 2021 second round pick. Now this gives Miami a better offense. Right now they're 27th in the league in offense and scoring per game. So they need that. LaMarcus Aldridge won't bring him that much higher of a ceiling. He's very old, but at least the amount of assets you give up is not significant. So it'll be fine in the end of the day if you just settle for LaMarcus Aldridge. And he's been improving as a 3-point shooter. He's shooting about the same as Kelly Olynyk this season, which is good because he's shooting on a lower volume than Olynyk. And Olynyk is, he's kind of struggling this season from 3. But, his defense isn't the greatest, but he has an all-defensive big right next to him, Bam Adebayo. And he makes Miami a top 3 to 5 favorite in the East, while giving up, like I said, a small amount of assets. But that's it for the video. The Heat, I know they will bounce back. I can see them still being a top 3 seed. Maybe that's biased. I don't know. I can still see them being at least in the playoffs. Whether that be 8-3 or 4, like, it don't matter. They're gonna be in the playoffs. The Heat, as long as they're healthy, are still one of the better teams in the East. Yeah, man, they should be fine.